So besides L5, there's still two more like real threats, which would be MVP Black and Dignitas. Like during this event, like finish on top and show that we have what it takes to overcome the Koreans, because they have been looking a bit worse than they were half a year ago. But it's due to the fact that I feel they are not like giving as much, trying as hard to continue in the right way as we are. So we are basically just catching up with them. I mean, we might already be there. We'll just have to see during this event. I'm not sure actually, but a lot of people have suggested Quack Street Boys, which I personally think is pretty cool. But we'll just have to figure that out, because we're planning on winning a lot of tournaments starting from now and also releasing a lot of boy band videos. Yeah, I think like the meta is always a bit like that. Obviously, I mean, everybody's respecting the Koreans as the best regions. Obviously, everybody looks into them and try to see what they're doing and trying to copy it, because obviously they're doing something right. But I think for a while now, EU has just had the strongest meta. But it's a clash of styles, because even if you copy something, it might not just work in your region, or you might not understand like the reasoning behind certain picks and so on. Like you have to know everything to make it very successful. So it's like, it's hard to tell, but I just think people will have their own styles, but they will also have to adapt to whatever like meta seems to be the strongest as the tournament starts. I think that's a question that has a lot to do with generations. I mean, obviously my parents didn't know a lot at all, but I mean, now they have started to get a hang of how big esports are and so on. But yeah, the younger generation, like the teenagers and so on, they're all about esports. Yeah, my parents are really into esports now, because yeah, they have to get into it, because it's like, it's my work, it's my career, so they're very interested in seeing how far it goes, and yeah, like starting to actually understand how big esports are. So last year, my mom and brother came to BlizzCon to watch us, and my dad is actually coming down to DreamHack to check us out. Sure. So first of all, I want to say thanks to all the fans for supporting us, and we're not gonna let you down. We're gonna make sure we publish that boy band video. We just have one little speed bump in the way, which is actually winning the tournament. But we're gonna get there, so just hold tight and stay tuned. And then I also wanna say to my team, this is it, we're doing this. Yeah, for sure. I think like momentum is, I mean, it can be a liability as well, but it's one of our big things that we rely a lot on momentum, and we pump each other up and make sure to get the hype going. Just because if you have high energy, you're usually communicating way better, and when you're communicating way better, you're playing way better. Like going to any event, it's always so exciting, but it's also a bit like intimidating, because like this is what you work for. So you're super pumped, super hyped to be here, to finally after 6 months of work, you're here. It's time to show off what you got and try to obviously win every single tournament you attend to. But then it also comes down to the fact that yes, you have been screaming for 6 months or practicing for 6 months for this specific moment. And then of course you want to do good. So the pressure comes, but it's something you get used to. And like, I always get nervous. It doesn't matter how many events I've been to, I'm always nervous the first 5 minutes of any game. But once you just get into the zone like really quick, and then it's, I don't know, nothing else, like you can't focus on anything but the game. Yeah, that has always been a thing. But like 1 year ago, I would say it was them always showing up pretty much, and us almost every time like choking or taking a step back in the important moments. But I think we've gotten kind of past that, or at least we're working in the right direction, getting past the choke stage when it comes to the important matches. But I think usually we show up as the stronger team, but as we come to the final or something, the nerves come to us. But I think, yeah, as I'm mentioning, we're getting really we're getting fine with it, I guess. We're getting good at it, to dealing with it. I think the three most important factors with being a pro gamer is mentality, which is probably the biggest one. It's really wide, so I'm not gonna dig into that. But mentality, game sense, just being good at the game, understanding heroes, drafting, strategies, and so on. And then mechanical skill, just actually being good at pressing the buttons.